Hello, BookTube, and this is a bit of an update and what I've been reading and sort of what's going to happen for basically to the end of the year, more or less. And I do need to apologize for not making videos for a while. On the 16th, that was a Tuesday, a week ago this past Tuesday, I had a severe allergic reaction to something. I don't know what it was. But it's my tongue and throat swelled up, and I had severe difficulty breathing or non-breathing for a while. Ambulance took me to the hospital after getting pumped full of adrenaline and all sorts of other wonderful things. It slowly receded, and about 8 hours later, things were more or less back to normal, size-wise, lips and tongue and so forth. But it has affected my long COVID symptoms, and this could even be a reaction partially to long COVID, because I do have allergies, mostly to perfumes and things of that sort, deodorants, so-called air fresheners, and usually they can be either mild by just a bit of rashes, to burning eyes, headaches, sneezing, and then severe sort of, up at that point, severe was like an asthma type attack, breathing difficulties. So this might be COVID that's done this, but we'll never know. Doctors won't say anything about that, but it was clearly a reaction to something. So I now have EpiPens full of adrenaline to stab myself and shoot myself full of adrenaline if this happens again. So I'll have to keep those to hand. And as I say, it just sent my COVID symptoms in overdrive, where I not really sleeping, like I don't sleep at all. I just rest, and I need about 15 to 18 hours a day. Good days, maybe 14, and I can have maybe 5 to 8 hours of sort of wakefulness enough to do reading and do other things, puttering around, doing things. Limited, but it sort of suffices. But with this happening, I needed about 20 hours plus of rest a day, and I've been that's what I've been doing, basically day in, day out. I'm feeling a bit stronger. I think I'm sort of on the upward turn of this, but it will take a little while. So hence, everything was sort of put out the ways that I could, for the first week pretty well. I couldn't really read at all. I just wasn't wakeful enough, even the few hours that I had. Either I'm laying in bed for 16 hours, or sitting in a chair here and dozing for the rest of the time. And but that seems, as I say, that seems to be getting better. So thankfully, today not so much. It's been a rough day today, Saturday, but I didn't have much planned today other than watching a film for the book to film. And hence, like, November is almost over, so I got through almost half of the New World's November without mishap. But I'm going to sort of play catch up now for the next week and a bit, in order to sort of finish it off, because I had stuff that I wanted to do and I'm in the midst of them. So I'll try to continue. And the book to film that ended the second week of Robots and AI was going to be 2001: A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke. And the film, the Stanley Kubrick film, 2001. And I finished reading this. This is an Orbit edition, 50th anniversary, with pull-out introduction. Um, it just before I even got done the 15 pages, the introduction was falling out, and so it's pretty bad condition. I finished it off, and there's one good section here. I had to laugh at the time, and they're on the Discovery on the way to Saturn, the book at Saturn, but we'll discuss that in the film. It says, space pods were not the most elegant means of transport devised by man, but they were absolutely essential for construction and maintenance work in vacuum. They were usually christened with feminine names, perhaps in recognition of the fact that their personalities were sometimes slightly unpredictable. Discovery's trio were Anna, Betty, and Clara. They are unpredictable, so therefore feminine. Okay. I had to laugh when I read that. And also I've read this BFI Film Classics 2001 Space Odyssey by Peter Kramer. These are generally pretty good. They're very short introductions because they're anywhere from 80 to about 125, 130 pages maximum. And this one, as I say, Peter Kramer, or Kramer, it's not very good. It's just over 100 pages, and he spends a lot of it telling you what you see on the screen. Nothing of more than that, pretty well, just very little. And I just, like, why bother with that? Tell me some things of how these scenes relate to the scenes that you saw and stuff like that. There's a few snippets of that, but very little. So I didn't think it was very useful. So I would not recommend this as a reading guide. There is so much literature that's been written on 2001. Like this is not even, like, it's not even a 250 page book, and there are thousands and thousands of pages written on 2001: A Space Odyssey. Whether it warrants it or not, well, that's another matter. But I'll be doing that. I'll be watching the film tonight, and hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow do the video, or Monday at the latest. And then also I've reread The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. This is a 2017 edition, I think, or is it 16? 2017. With an introduction from 2010 by Gwyneth Jones. And then I realized I had the Norton Critical edition of this, which is actually quite good because it's got a section on the evolution of the time machine, and where H.G. Wells did some sort of aborted attempts on a few serials, and most of that is in here. The differences that are not in the time machine are reprinted. There are contemporary reviews, and there's what they call recent criticism, but there's one that I look forward to actually read. It's quite short, but it's by Yevgeny Zamyatin. Those out there might know from dystopian literature. He wrote We, which was a big influence on 1984, written by George Orwell. So that'll be interesting, and there's a number of other essays in here as well. So it's a short one. It's like 270 pages, but it's Norton Critical editions are quite good for little introductions to things. And then that'll be for the film. I'll be doing the George Pal 1950. I forget what year now. You can't see the date on it. This is like, these are premium collections, but it doesn't have a commentary on it, which is sad. And then I'll be reading some other short stories to catch up on the time travel, a couple short stories that I'll be doing, and then Dystopian will be the last, which is this week. It's ending tomorrow, but I'll be doing or rereading Make Room by Harry Harrison. Um, and that was filmed in 1970 or 69, somewhere around that. Soylent Green with Charlton Heston and Edward G. Robinson. They have Lee Taylor Young on the front, but Edward G. Robinson, it was his last film, and a fabulous actor from the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. But yeah, so that's what I'll be doing over the next week or so, and I'm postponing um, the Isaac Asimov's Future History Project until January. It was going to start on the 1st of December, but it's going to be now delayed until January. I'm not ready to start it at the moment. And then also too, if anybody else will, if they're still interested in joining us, then do send me an email. I'll leave my email in the description below, and I can send you a reading list, the title list, and the chronological order, internal, more or less, chronological order of the stories. And I look forward to getting that started, but it's as I say, it's going to be delayed. I'm just sort of getting back into the swing of things, and I figure it's going to take me several weeks, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for the rest of December now. This will probably, the New World's November is going to bleed into probably well into the second week of December. And I usually do a bit of Christmas stuff, read a bit of Christmas material at Christmas time, either nonfiction about Christmas or fiction. And I always read The Christmas Carol. So maybe I might do a book to film on The Christmas Carol. And I won't be spoiled for choice. Well, I am spoiled for choice, I should say, for the choice of the film, but I know which one I will choose. But yeah, and that's where things are at the moment. And I hope everybody is doing well. And I'll be back in a day or two, hopefully tomorrow, with the book to film on 2010, A Space Odyssey. Until then, have a good weekend, BookTube.